Hey girls, good morning. Ooh, I gotta clean my screen. Winnie. Oh man, I didn't steal your bone, Win. What did you do with it? What'd you do with it? I gave Winnie. I know we did survive, right, Ruby? It was so much less of a storm than they anticipated. Or here, I mean, not. I know a lot of places got hit really hard. Here, it was so much less of a impact than they anticipated. I gave Winnie a bone, a smoked bone with meat and marrow, and she was munching away happily. And then she got up to get a drink, and I don't know what she did with it. I gave her that to distract her while I'm on devotions, and now I don't know what she did with it. So now she's going to either be a wild child or be getting into things she wasn't supposed to, even though I prepared ahead of time. I don't know what she did with it. I can smell it. Winnie, what'd you do with your bone, sis? A foot of snow. Fun. We got like a couple inches of sleet and then some freezing rain on top of it. But the freezing rain was way less than they anticipated. They had told us to expect an inch and, catastrophic consequences. And we got like a light mist. Yes. They said prepare for 2 weeks because they expected an inch of ice, but then it kind of turned a little. So we have got a really solid frozen front yard, but hey, can handle that. We haven't lost any power, and for that I am very grateful. So, sorry I'm late. I got a little wrapped up with the dog, and now she's hunting for her bone. What did you do with that bone? Do I have some slobbery, slimy meat marrow bone laying somewhere on a rug? All right. January 26th, right? Yes. Job's ninth speech, a response to Bildad, Job 26, 1 through 14. Then Job spoke again. How you have helped the powerless, how you have saved the weak, how you have enlightened my stupidity. What wise advice you have offered. Where have you gotten all these wise sayings? Whose spirit speaks through you? The dead tremble, those who live beneath the waters. The underworld is naked in God's presence. The place of destruction is uncovered. God stretches the northern sky over empty space and hangs the earth on nothing. He wraps the rain in his thick clouds, and the clouds don't burst with the weight. He covers the face of the moon, shrouding it with his clouds. He created the horizon when he separated the waters. He set the boundary between day and night. The foundations of heaven tremble. They shudder at his rebuke. By his power, the sea grew calm. By his skill, he crushed the great sea monster. His spirit made the heavens beautiful, and his power pierced the gliding serpent. These are the beginning of all that he does, merely a whisper of his power. Who then can comprehend the thunder of his power? Job's final speech. Job 17, 1 through 23. Job continued speaking. I vow by the living God, who has taken away my rights, by the Almighty, who has embittered my soul. As long as I live, while I have breath from God, my lips will speak no evil, and my tongue will speak no lies. I will never concede that you are right. I will defend my integrity until I die. I will maintain my innocence without wavering. My conscience is clear for as long as I live. May my enemy be punished like the wicked, my adversary like those who do evil. For what hope do the godless have when God cuts them off and takes away their life? Will God listen to their cry when trouble comes upon them? Can they take delight in the Almighty? Can they call to God at any time? I will teach you about God's power. I will not conceal anything concerning the Almighty. But you have seen all this, yet you say all these useless things to me. This is what the wicked will receive from God. This is their inheritance from the Almighty. They may have many children, but the children will die in war and starve to death. Those who survive will die of a plague, and not even their widows will mourn them. Evil people may have piles of money and may store away mounds of clothing, but the righteous will wear that clothing. and the innocent will divide that money. The wicked build houses as fragile as a spider's web, as flimsy as a shelter made of branches. The wicked will go to bed rich, but wake up to find all their wealth is gone. Terror overwhelms them like a flood, and they are blown away in the storms of the night. The east wind carries them away, and they are gone. It sweeps them away. It whirls them down. It whirls down on them without mercy. Winnie, come here. Winnie! You don't belong in there. No, come here. Come here. You come here. Yeah, I see your ears laid back. What were you doing? They struggle to flee from its power, but everyone jeers at them and mocks them. Job speaks of wisdom and understanding. Job 28, 1 through 28. People know where to mine silver and how to refine gold. They know where to dig iron from the earth and how to smelt copper from a rock. They know how to shine light in the darkness and explore the farthest regions of the earth. As they search in the dark for ore, they sink a mine shaft into the earth, far from where anyone lives. They descend on ropes, swinging back and forth. Come on, if you want to get up here. Come on. You can get up here if you want, if that's what you want. I know that's what you want, so get up here. Come on. Come on. It's okay. Come on. Food is grown on the earth above, but down below the earth is melted as by fire. Here the rocks contain precious lapis lazuli, and the dust contains gold. These are the treasures no bird of prey can see, no falcon's eye can observe. No wild animal has walked upon these treasures, no lion has ever set his paw there. People know how to tear apart flinty rocks and overturn the roots of the mountains. They cut tunnels in the rocks and uncover precious stones. They dam up the trickling streams and bring to light the hidden treasures. But do people know where to find wisdom? Where can they find understanding? No one knows where to find it, for it is not found among the living. It is not here, says the ocean, nor is it here, says the sea. It cannot be bought with gold. It cannot be purchased with silver. It's worth more than all the gold of Ophir, greater than the precious onyx or lapis lazuli. Wisdom is more valuable than gold and crystal. It cannot be purchased with jewels mounted in fine gold. Coral and jasper are worthless in trying to get it. The price of wisdom is far above rubies. Precious peridot from Ethiopia cannot be exchanged for it. It's worth more than the purest gold. But do people know where to find wisdom? Where can they find understanding? It is hidden from the eyes of all humanity. Even the sharp-eyed birds in the sky cannot discover it. Destruction and death say, we've heard only rumors of where wisdom can be found. God alone understands the ways to wisdom. He knows where it can be found, for he looks throughout the whole earth and sees everything under the heavens. He decides how hard the winds should blow and how much rain should fall. He made laws for the rain and laid out a path for the lightning. Then he saw wisdom and evaluated it. He set it in place and examined it thoroughly. And this is what he says to all humanity. The fear of the Lord is true wisdom. To forsake evil is real understanding. Job speaks of his former blessings. Job 29, 1 through 25. Job continued speaking. I longed for the years gone by when God took care of me, when he lit up the way before me and I walked safely through the darkness. When I was in my prime, God's friendship was felt in my home. The Almighty was still with me, and my children were around me. My steps were awash in cream, and the rocks gushed olive oil for me. Those were the days when I went to the city gate and took my place among the honored leaders. The young stepped aside when they saw me, and even the aged rose in respect at my coming. The princes stood in silence and put their hands over their mouths. The highest officials of the city stood quietly, holding their tongues in respect. All who heard me praised me. All who saw me spoke well of me, for I assisted the poor in their need and the orphans who required help. I helped those I helped those without hope, and they blessed me. And I caused the widows' hearts to sing for joy. Everything I did was honest. Righteousness covered me like a robe, and I wore justice like a turban. I served as eyes for the blind and feet for the lame. I was a father to the poor. No biting. Stop. And assisted strangers who needed help. I broke the jaws of godless oppressors and plucked their victims from their teeth. I thought, surely I will die surrounded by my family after a long, good life, for I am like a tree whose roots reach the water, whose branches are refreshed with the dew. New honors are constantly bestowed on me, and my strength is continually renewed. Everyone listened to my advice, and they were as silent as they waited for me to speak. After I spoke, they had nothing to add, for my counsel satisfied them, and they longed for me to speak. They longed for me to speak as people long for rain. They drank my words like a refreshing spring rain. When they were discouraged, I smiled at them. My look of approval was precious to them. Like a chief, I told them what to do. I lived like a king among his troops and comforted those who mourned. Are you comfortable? Because I don't know that I am. I don't know that I am. I don't want you to fall. Okay, good girl. Good girl. She's going to lay down right there. You going to lay there like a good girl? You can actually stay there? Huh? You can actually stay there like a good girl? Are you? No, you're not. Of course you're not. Why would you? Why would you? 4 seconds is our max. Huh? 4 seconds is our max. You're just going to lick the computer screen? All right. You go ahead and do that while I read. All right. We are on page 149, chapter 8 of Breaking Free from Body Shame. Your body is not a marker of righteousness. Let's get an iced mocha oat latte and talk. If I could, I would grab your arm today and we'd go for a walk down the block to get some coffee because I have something to tell you. As I write this, it's Saturday. I get up early and write. Then, as a family, we spend some time at the church getting it prepped for Sunday. I do chores around the house and then hang and rest together. But sometimes, while the kids are doing chores, I can sneak away for a coffee. If you were with me, I'd suggest we meet at the Harbinger, which is just a block away from my house and boasts the most beautiful indoor color scheme of dusty pink, faded blue, and grayish. I'd get an iced mocha oat milk latte. The one from Harbinger is amazing. I'm strictly a black coffee girl, except on Saturday afternoons when the day has started off kind of weird. Then we'd snag a table in the corner, and while you're blowing on your coffee to cool it, I would tell you the story. I should know better than to open Instagram before I write. I feel like I should know better than to open Instagram unless God has prompted me to check on someone or use the internet to encourage someone. But today, I broke my own rules and I had my phone right beside my bed. I rolled over to grab it before I got up and saw that someone had aggressively or passive-aggressively tagged me in over a dozen posts. It was clear there was something this person wanted me to see. They were Botox ads. Someone overnight tagged me in comments of dozens of Instagram Botox ads. I clicked on the username of the person who did the tagging. It was not a random internet bully. No, it was a woman from my city. I don't follow her, but she's a friend of friends. This real live human who lives in my city and knows my friends took it upon herself to tag me in various Botox ads between the hours of 11 p.m. and 6 a.m., presumably to A, inform me that I need Botox, and B, let me know where I can get it. It's not the first time this has happened. For whatever reason, people of Instagram often suggest I should get Botox. I have an expressive face, and when I talk on Instagram stories, those little wrinkles are all you can see. But it's been a few months since it last happened, and it's never before been someone who is a friend of a friend. At this point in our afternoon coffee date, whether or not I cry is going to depend a lot on your reaction. If you're laughing, I'll laugh. If you're sitting quietly and looking at me with shock and sadness, I might tear up. If you act like it's not a big deal and say something like, good, tell me where to get it. I've been meaning to tell you that you could use a few units on your forehead. I may walk out. Because you and I are too far into this journey of calling our bodies good to put any kind of crazy on each other, okay? The point of this is not the Botox. I'm not anti-Botox, and if you've had Botox, more power to you. I was dead set on getting it a few years ago, like money in hand, doctor picked out. Then my older sister lovingly entreated me to keep my forehead wrinkles intact because she said my face is so expressive and she didn't want it to change. She made a big case about Julia Roberts and how expressive her face is and how she publicly says that she doesn't get Botox. On the real, I think she does. My point is, my beef is not with Botox. My beef is not even with pristine foreheads popping up around the Western Hemisphere, but rather with the expectation that women who meet a certain set of beauty standards are inherently better than the women who don't. Okay, that's the end of that little section. I'll jump in there tomorrow. I can't say I didn't want Botox, Lil. I ain't opposed to Botox. That's not expressive. That's too many times looking at my husband like this. All right, let me just scroll through the chat here. Yeah, I can hear it pouring off our eaves right now, Ruby. It's not quite 40s here yet. I don't know what it is. I don't know what. But it's melting like crazy off the roof, which is good because there was a lot of solid heavy. It's only 30 here, but the sun is shining on the roof and it's melting down. Oh, Diana, 12 inches of snow plus a stomach virus. That's the worst. Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, we didn't get any snow either, Melissa. It was just straight sleet, heavy, heavy sleet. And we have like a corner, this little alcove, and it was right in the direction of the wind. I can't put my hands on camera so you can see, but it's, an alcove like this, and it just piled in there. So there was well more than a foot of sleet in that corner. So Tilson was out there all day, every hour or so, shoveling it out because it was so heavy. And we knew that if it like started raining the way they said it was supposed to, that sleet there would pack full of ice. It would pack full of water and then freeze, and we'd never be able to move it. So he was out there shoveling. So now we have a big, huge mound on our, like a little mini mountain on our front lawn of sleet, and it's just rock solid. It's going to be there till summer because it's so frozen. But, well, we have power. That's all I care about. That is all I care about. I was so grateful. And the number, like, I don't want to be without the internet or TV, but will I die if I don't have internet or TV? No, I'll get over it. But what I really struggle with when there's no power is not having a fan to sleep with. This desert rat has absolutely no idea what sleet is. It's so funny that you say that, Dory, because somebody messaged me and said, "What is sleet? I've never heard. We call sleet rain." That's what, like, I've only ever known it as sleet, and that's what they call it on the TV and everything down here. Sleet is when you have snow that goes through a warm, like the jet stream, it goes through a layer of warm and starts to melt the snow, and then it comes back down into cold and it turns to little tiny, tiny ice pellets. So it's like teensy tiny hail. It's really gritty. It's like driving on ball bearings on the road. So sleet is already frozen when it hits the ground. So you can hear it tapping on the windows, and then freezing rain is when it's all completely melted and then freezes as soon as it hits the ground and turns to ice and builds up ice. So it comes down as rain and turns to ice when it hits the ground. Sleet is frozen before it hits the ground. It's like somewhere between snow and ice and rain. It's really like you can pick it up and move it around in your hands. Like, it doesn't pack a lot. It's like little teeny tiny pellets of ice, and it's heavy as heck. It's heavy as heck. And it's slippery too. And when it packs down with rain on top of it, it's impossible to move. Our local weather guy used donuts to compare sleet to sprinkles and freezing rain to glaze. That's exactly. Snow is the powdered. That's exactly. Yeah, that's exactly right. It's like sprinkles. It's miserable, but it's not as bad as freezing rain. I would rather have sleet all day because at least you can move it. You can drive on it, even though it's not great. You can drive on it. It's not as bad as freezing rain. Freezing rain is miserable. Which we did get some, but not a ton. Not a ton. So I'm more worried about like our eaves freezing and backing up on, but I think it'll be fine. Every time my husband went out, he's like, I didn't sign up for this. Like, I don't think there was a sign up. It's kind of like you don't have a choice, but it's like the draft. Like it's just happening whether you want it or not. So get over it. Oh, Winnie likes it though. She likes eating it. All right, girls, let's go ahead and end in prayer. God, our Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for the love that you show to us every day, the compassion, the grace, and the mercy that we don't deserve, and yet you give it to us every single day, God. And I just pray that you would help us today and this week to not take that for granted, to lean into that and recognize the love that is behind that from our God. God, I pray for those that are recovering this morning from the storm and those that are without power. I just pray for quick restoration and safety for those that are working to restore power. God, I thank you and praise you for the outcomes for many was much less than expected. And I just thank you for that, God. And I pray for the workers that are out and that you would protect them, keep them safe. God, I also pray for the victims of the plane crashes that happened yesterday and ask for your peace to surround their families as well. God, help us today to make choices that are honoring to you, that are healing to our bodies, strengthening to our bodies, and lead us to be better servants in your kingdom. In your precious name, amen. Right, Ruby? Like, we did not move here. Winnie loves the snow too, but she's not sure about the sleet because it's very slippery to walk on the. She has a really hard time gaining traction to, hunch a certain way. She was trying to go to the bathroom this morning, and every time she'd hunch over, she'd slide. She was looking at me like, Mom, what do I do? Yeah, I know, Dory. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. I had so many people in Tennessee tell me, oh, they always predict ice, and we never get it. It's going to be fine. And they're the ones that got slammed. Yeah, same, Jill. Sleet is better than the below zero temps. We had a lot of those below 30, 50 below temps when we were in Maine. I don't miss that. I don't miss that at all. No. All right, my dears. I just put this hoodie on before I went live, and it is already completely covered in dog hair. Look at my lint roller. Can you see how hairy it is? I lint roll myself like 40 times a day sitting here. And that's just from yesterday and today. Look at that. I don't know why I even bother at this point. Oh yeah, it's a mess story in Nashville. Nashville is quite a mess right now. All right, girls. I've got to go get some work done. I have to go place a grocery order for some tiny chunky pastors this morning. If you don't know what I mean by that, you need to go look at my Facebook post yesterday. Dumbest typo ever. And then I went right to bed. Oh my gosh. All right, girls. I love you so much. I hope you have an amazing Monday. Get a workout in. My gym is closed today. But I have all the workouts I need and all the weights I need right here to get work done. get workouts done and not lose my motivation, my momentum, not lose my momentum. Thank you. You like that? My husband absolutely despises it. He won't stop complaining about it. I don't know how long it's going to be there because he loathes that thing. He hates it. I need decorations or something on it, or I don't know. I need to zhuzh it up because right now it looks kind of pathetic and he hates it so bad. All right, girls, I love you so much. I hope you have a fabulous day.